And some are speculating that this was a random attack.
Josh asked me to advise because of my previous work as the CTO of Block, where I created CashApp and became a bit of a mobile payments expert.
So it literally could be getting into full programmable money. If we get into programmable money, we got a problem.
What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? Welcome back to Moxy Approved. CashApp founder Bob Lee recently passed after getting fatally stabbed in San Francisco.
A crime scene blocks from Google's San Francisco office. The victim, 43-year-old Bob Lee, a tech executive himself.
Late night, where the cops found him unresponsive in a random dark alley.
Lee, according to the San Francisco Standard, dialed 911 and screamed, "Help, someone stabbed me."
Since his death, questions begin to fly on how something so awful can happen to someone that friends once said that he was the type of person to give someone the shirt off his back.
And some are speculating that this was a random attack.
He's a humble, nice guy, talks about his kids a lot, family, just a generally good guy.
People begin to question, could something supposedly so random be a coincidence, seeming that the government is soon to launch a company called FedNow that will be in direct competition with CashApp. And what exactly is FedNow?
So all of this plays into what could be a shift in how you and I use payment. FedNow is just the beginning. How we'll connect to whether it's a CBDC or potentially some sort of a stable coin in the future is still the question. I think that is the next play.
Could Lee been murdered because of a battle that's soon to come with CashApp?
A life cut short in a murder that remains a mystery.
Well, we'll look at those things. But there's something else I want to take a look at in this video. Because if this conspiracy is true, I don't think that Bob Lee died from CashApp.
Lee, perhaps best known for creating the mobile payment service CashApp, was a tech icon who lived in San Francisco for years before recently moving to Miami.
But rather this. Now, before we get to that, please do me one small favor, hit that like button. And if you haven't yet, make sure you got that notification bell turned all the way up to all. And apply pressure to that subscribe button. Yes, apply pressure to that subscribe button.
Josh asked me to advise because of my previous work as the CTO of Block, where I created CashApp and became a bit of a mobile payments expert.
Bob Lee was the victim of a knife attack early on April 4th, Tuesday, at the hours around 2:35 a.m.
At 2:35 in the morning, the injured 43-year-old appeared to be trying to wave down a passing car, which drove away.
No one knows the exact reason or the exact location of the stabbing, but a video was released of Bob Lee begging an unknown person for help after being stabbed up. The driver quickly soon decides that he wants no parts of whatever just happened and speeds off. Lee was then seen stumbling around after being knifed up, looking for help. Police arrived minutes later to what they were called an unresponsive Lee, where he was then immediately transported to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Now, people was quickly tying Lee's death to the soon-to-be released FedNow program that handles buying and selling transactions for individuals and businesses. Though FedNow will be launched for US dollar transactions, it does have the ability to handle other forms of currency just in case in the future the US wanted to release a cryptocurrency dollar itself.
And the greater the adoption into a system and a cycle of monetary systems that exist outside of this kind of system that seems to be fighting with the potential of where all this is going on blockchain is real. And the reality is whether or not they can get the population of the world to agree with these kinds of things.
Right now, a popular app called CashApp is being used by a lot of individuals and small businesses to handle day-to-day transactions. In 2022, CashApp/Square was at its ultimate high with reported users. So while it's easy to quickly tie FedNow to this death because they didn't want to compete with CashApp, I don't think that makes total full sense. Why? Because there's a lot of other platforms like Venmo, PayPal, Zelle that pretty much can do the same thing and has had more success. In fact, last year, Square Now named Block Inc., who owns CashApp payment volume, was outdone by Zelle by a huge amount. So why would the government not want competition with CashApp, who seems to be in the lower tier as compared to other competitors? Well, that's because it wasn't because of CashApp. Well, not fully. It was because of this.
Josh asked me to advise because of my previous work as the CTO of Block, where I created CashApp and became a bit of a mobile payments expert.
Mobile coin.
For this brief presentation, I'm going to share a peek into the world of mobile payments and what I'm bringing to mobile coin.
Mobile coin is a cryptocurrency that Bob Lee was just named the Chief Product Officer. His job was going to be directing mobile coin in marketing and future establishment. One of their main targets was going to be the unbanked, which there's not a lot of competition in that sector.
CashApp made its name by serving the underbanked, but it's still heavily dependent on institutional banking. We still need solutions for the unbanked, who make up the majority of the world's adult population. A few slides ago, I mentioned that Western Union is the second largest payments company in the world, and that's because they connect the unbanked people internationally. According to the World Bank, 1.7 billion adults remain unbanked, yet 2/3 of them own a mobile phone that could help them access financial services. That's where MobileCoin steps in. We aim to build a payments platform that will be accessible to anyone with a mobile phone. No bank account, no waiting in line to send MoneyGrams needed. Once unbanked people have access to the basic tools of a functioning economy, direct deposits, loans, digital payments, all stuff we take for granted, their financial handicap is seriously reduced.
MobileCoin was and still is soon to be a currency available for transactions on, yeah, you guessed it, CashApp.
Of course, there have been some incredible developments in the past decade that can't be understated, and none have shaken the payments world quite like cryptocurrency, MobileCoin especially. Now that I'm at MobileCoin, we'll continue the mission I started with CashApp, to make payments better for everyone.
While also in talks to be available on another app widely used called Signal, with MobileCoin already having connections to these platforms.
Shortly after launch, one of the big three banks even actually tried to shut us down for using unlinked refunds without originating transactions, but Visa, because we'd set up that partnership ahead of time, stepped in and stopped them. Testimony to the importance of aligning interests with key partners, a lesson that you can see we apply here at MobileCoin today.
Could put the government in a situation where, they need to make some pieces fall on the chessboard. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's evenly take a look at all our options here. What was Bob Lee doing walking around San Francisco at that time of night? He was scheduled to leave a few days earlier back to Miami, but he decided to stay to meet with a few friends.
And some are speculating that this was a random attack.
Could it be that Mr. Bob Lee was walking around San Fran late at night looking for a late night snack, if you get what I'm saying? Putting a branch under his nose. Well, in a city like San Francisco, one thing's for sure, it ain't far-fetched, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But why would the government need to kill Bob Lee? I mean, let's be real, the government with in-house competition, these companies lobby to get the favor of the government to pass laws to help them. So, of course, dealing with in-house competition wouldn't be that hard for the government. And didn't the IRS just announce not too long ago that they're going to be looking at CashApp transactions for taxing purposes?
The American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 passed back in March, and it modifies the IRS reporting requirements for transactions using these cash apps. When the new rule takes effect on January 1st, the apps will notify the IRS when payments top $600, triggering a 1099 form to be sent out.
Killing Bob Lee would not stop the competition, especially since people on the level and the execs on the level of Bob Lee, usually they prepare for unplanned situation as such, and a lot of their speeches and ideas and plans are transcribed and stored somewhere. Though it may not get rid of the competition, I will say it'll definitely slow it down.
However, Bitcoin is impractical for daily use. Payments can take from several minutes up to an hour. Imagine buying a coffee this way. Other systems have since been developed, but none offer both the privacy and speed needed. Enter MobileCoin, the first cryptocurrency designed specifically for your phone.
Without a leader in that department to make decisions on the cusp, I admit it wouldn't stop the competition, but losing a leader like that would definitely slow it down. But let's take a look at MobileCoin. A lot of people are saying MobileCoin is way down from its initial price offering. But what I would say to that is, doesn't that help the case for CashApp, which primarily deals with people from that demographic, small businesses and the black market? In such an untapped community, FedNow would definitely have a problem taking business away in a community that isn't really known to break habits that much.
When you pull people out of physical contact, the need for cash no longer exist, and that was the idea. Maybe not the idea, but the impact and one of the side effects has been this digitization of the monetization system. So
I want to be clear, the feds have definitely been trying to shut down cryptocurrency and blockchain currency in America, not just because it's hard to tax, but because they're probably going to put one out of their own. Look at how Senator Elizabeth Warren talks about this.
Remember, she's been a little bit anti-crypto, but at the same time, she's talking out the other side of her mouth and actually promoting how this actually works. Listen to what she has to say here.
Same kind of protection to your customers. How much, in fact, did JP Morgan collect in overdraft fees from their customers in 2020? Do you know the number?
I don't know the number in front of me, but
well, I actually have the number in front of me. It's $1.463 billion.
All right, so basically she's grilling Jamie Dimon there, and the idea behind this is that she's very anti-bank. All right, so if you're anti-bank, but you're pro maybe USDC or some sort of stable coin that is tied to US dollar, you have FedNow. The question is how is that USDC constructed? How can it be transacted globally?
At the end of the day, cryptocurrency is about total control. And there's nothing more that the government loves than total control.
Right now, remember, U.S. White House economics report considers FedNow versus CBDC. Some things they stated right here is they're looking at right now FedNow to be mostly domestic, and it's not a digital asset which can be used to settle payments and transactions programmatically. So that's one of the key things that is missing. I think this again gets back into the point of where this might be growing.
Encryption is key. is key to locking down your personal data. Unlike card payments and existing peer-to-peer platforms like CashApp, MobileCoin encrypts your data end to end, just like encrypted messengers do for your conversations. With financial data security more important than ever, developing end-to-end encrypted payment technology isn't just smart, it's our responsibility.
The FedNow instant payment platform is upon us. It's going to be released on July 2023, which is this year. So the question we have to ask ourselves, is FedNow, the instant payment system, good or bad for Bitcoin and digital assets? Me personally, I think it's good.
Through cryptocurrency, the government can control not only your finances, but your personal life too.
Conspiracy theorists might believe that this is actually happening now. If you look at this statement right here, central bank digital currencies, limit where and when you can spend your money, monitor and record every transaction, take fines, taxes, charges automatically from your account, give your money an expiry date, making savings impossible, link your wallet to a carbon allowance, social credit score, freezing your account when you say you're unable to buy anything. So it literally could be getting into full programmable money. If we get into programmable money, we got a problem.
And continue their dominance of the world market itself.
You see, the world relies on the US dollar, giving America unparalleled economic dominance.
Do you remember the one guy who tried to disrupt the world currency market on his own? Yeah, Gaddafi.
According to some, the invasion of Libya was about protecting civilians. Others said it was about Libya's vast oil reserves. But everyone was convinced that it was all about currency. Specifically, Gaddafi's plan to introduce the gold dinar, a single African currency made from gold that would eventually replace the US dollar when trading with Africa.
The violence must stop. Muammar Gaddafi has lost the legitimacy to lead, and he must leave.
You remember what happened to him, right?
Many scholars have said that it's the kind of thing that one has to plan almost in secret and launch it when ready, because as soon as you say it, you'll have a bullseye on your back.
We saw, he died.
The circumstances of Gaddafi's death have never been clarified. The official version of the Libyan rebellion is that he died during an exchange of gunfire.
So I don't think it was just the act, but more so that cryptocurrency, mobile coin. But that's my opinion. Now, let's listen to yours. Do you think that Bob Lee was killed in San Francisco late at night because he was looking for homeless head? Or do you think this was a government hit in its purest form? You let me know in the comments section. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxy Approved, right? With that water. I see you here next time on Moxy Approved.